Picture this. Now, by simply saying these two words, I've now given your mind a command and an order to get ready to make images that will match the words I'm about to say. I've just given you an order to paint pictures using my words. This is the power of words. Now, as a coach, an online entrepreneur, business owner, you know that the words that you use can either attract your ideal clients or it can repel them. And as a business, your goal is to sell using your words. Now, you don't have to be the best writer in the world in order to be able to use words to convey what you can do for your clients. You just have to learn a few tricks and tips. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you 4 tips that you can literally take right now. Use a piece of writing that you have already, something that you're about to post that you haven't posted, and together we're going to improve it using these 4 tips. You can use just one of them or all 4 to help you create the desire and the demand for whatever it is you're talking about. I want you to realize one thing. Your ideal clients, every single one of them, every single one of us as humans, we have desires. And these desires, you can categorize them in 2 ways. The first desire is to get rid of a problem that we have that we don't want to have. And the second desire is to get a result that we want that we still don't have yet. And your goal as a creator of content to sell your business and to sell your coaching and to sell your courses, your goal is to bridge the gap between these two, between what your client has a problem with and doesn't want and what your client wants and doesn't have yet. Your words have the power of bridging this gap. Now let's get right into it with the first tip, and it is to harness the power of you. One thing you have to understand is that the hero in your business is not you. It's always your client. And if you want to, in a very simple way, connect with your client, speak with them as one person and as you. I'll give you a simple example. If I wanted to send out a newsletter today or wanted to post something about how to handle anxiety, I could start writing about how I handle my anxiety. I could say, yesterday I was feeling anxious, so I decided to go for a walk. And when I came back, I listened to some music and I danced and whatever. And through this, I'm teaching you that if you walk and if you dance and if you meditate and if you write, you're going to feel better. Nice, great. But this whole story is about me. What if instead I started my email or my post by asking you, have you ever felt so anxious that you couldn't just sit in one place? Or do you know this feeling when you're feeling so anxious, but you just don't know what to do about it? That's how I felt yesterday. And here's what I did to help myself get out of anxiety. Now, yes, the story is going to turn around and be my story in a way that's helpful to you. But because I started my post or my email or my reel or my video or whatever it is by talking to you about you, I've drawn you in and I've grabbed your attention. And that's what we want to do. An additional tip here, which I kind of skimmed over in the beginning, is to always speak to one person and one person only. There are rarely any times where people are opening your emails as a group or watching or reading your posts as a group. It's only always one person. Speak to that one person and they will feel like they resonate with you so much more. Tip number 2 is to write the way that you speak. If you come from a corporate background like me, I was in the corporate world for 15 years before starting my own business, or if you used to write essays at university or high school, then you're probably still using the old traditional way of writing, which works perfectly for essays and academic stuff or corporate things, but it doesn't work to sell the things that you and I are trying to sell: our coaching, our programs, our online courses, our workshops, all of these things. So using these big words might have been impressive when you worked at corporate or when your professor really looked for these cool words to see that you understood what he or she was trying to teach. But that does not work with your ideal client right now. In fact, it could completely turn them off if you use these big words that are full of jargon and that just sound so complicated. It sounds fake. That's not how we speak. So, what is the best way to do this is, first of all, read out loud what you have written down. Because sometimes it looks good on paper, but when you say it out loud, which is how people are going to read it in their minds, they're going to read it and hear your voice. And if what they're reading doesn't sound like a human, it sounds more robotic, they're going to swipe by and you're definitely not going to get that sale. Another really cool hack that I absolutely love to share is after you've written your text, put it on a Word document if it's not there already, and then go to File, and then go to Review, and then go to Read Aloud. Not only does this help you figure out, does this sound like how people speak, it also will help you catch any grammatical mistakes, any missing words, any typos whatsoever that your eyes didn't catch. It's a very, very cool tip. You have to try it. Tip number 3 is more questions and less statements. Here's something that's super cool and interesting about our complex, beautiful mind. When you ask someone a question, they have no choice, no option but to answer it. Whether they speak it out loud or they say it to themselves, they're gonna answer the question. Now, what's cool about that is when you're writing your posts or your emails or whatever it is that you're putting out to the world, if you include more questions and less statements, what's happening then is your potential client, your reader, your audience has no choice but to answer these questions. And it now feels like a two-way conversation instead of you standing up here and giving them the statements as they are. So, for example, I could start a post by saying that your business is going to be in the exact same spot next year as it is right now if you don't make any changes. Now, this is powerful. It's a powerful statement. It's a true statement. But what if I change it around to this? What if I say, where do you think your business is going to be a year from now if you don't change anything? Now, you have no choice but to answer this question. And we've just connected on a much deeper level because I'm not just telling you the answer. Now you're coming up with your own answer. Now you're thinking to yourself, that's so true. I mean, it makes so much sense. Of course, my business is going to be in the same exact spot if I don't do anything new in my business. And now the connection has started and the resonance between the two of us has started. And tip number 4 is to use the magical words so that. A lot of the coaches and online business owners that I work with sell things that don't feel very tangible, like self-love or self-trust or more compassion or peace of mind or live your best life. And that's great, but clients are much more likely to pay for things when they understand exactly what that's going to give them. So how do you turn something that's so intangible, like self-love or confidence, into something that is tangible that you can use words to explain? The trick and the way is to add the words so that. Now, you don't have to actually write so that, but it's helpful for you. So, for example, you can say, my program helps you build confidence, full stop. Or, my program helps you build confidence so you can speak eloquently on stage, or so that you can present in front of your management team, or so you can go out and find the best partner ever and get married, or whatever the goal of your client is. As long as you connect that intangible thing, that intangible concept and theory that you're going to teach them with something tangible that they're going to get, your words will become so much more powerful. Now you can go back to the piece of writing that you have, the piece of content that's about to go out, and let's try to use the tips that we talked about in this video. Do you start your emails or your posts with I or we, or you're talking to them as a whole, as plural? Can you change that into a you? How can you change that around? Are you writing the way that you speak? If you're finding that some of the sentences feel weird, then probably they are. Change them around to the way that you speak. Are you putting out so many statements and no questions? How about you add a few questions in? And if you get stuck on how to turn the intangible into tangible, use the magical words so that. Before you go, I have a free gift for you. I created a 30-minute training that walks you through a 5-step process that helps you make your first or your next $1,000 in your business. It's the process that I use and the process that I teach my clients to use. So I really hope you enjoy this free training that you can watch at your own time, at your own pace, and you can access that immediately from the link underneath this video. I hope you enjoy and come back and let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed it. And also, let me know in the comments from the 4 writing tips that I shared with you today, which one are you going to start with? Which one resonated the most? Let's have a conversation in the comments. Now, while you're here, I suggest you walk around the channel and see what else you want to learn about. I'm here to help you build and grow your online business and your personal brand. Maybe the next video you want to watch is the one about niching and how to figure out exactly who your client is, what problems they're going through, what transformation they want, so that it can help your copywriting become even better and much more effective. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.